I'm Russell Poynton from Edison Group. I'm delighted today to have with me Thomas Tress, the CFO of Borussia Dortmund. Hello, Thomas.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today. So, Thomas, before we talk about Borussia Dortmund specifically, could you just talk about what you think makes football attractive from a growth perspective, please?
Well, it's on the one side, it's the popularity of the sports. There's so many people in the world interested in football, which makes it attractive also for the advertising industry, for the broadcasters. And what is important is to have a premium content to offer to the audience. This is important. And we see that the advertising business is growing over time, and also the football is following those roots, is growing and growing. And when we started in 2005, we had a revenue level on about 75 million. And nowadays, we're reaching 500 million. So this is a growth story all over. And and for us, important is being in Germany. This helps many companies to be aligned with us and develops very well.
So, Thomas, for many investors, the idea of investing in a football club is a bit of a challenge because there's a general perception that football clubs are not well run from a financial perspective, and the players are the main beneficiaries. So, why should investors think about Borussia Dortmund in a slightly different way?
Well, the first point, often when I talk to investors or with potential investors, I have to convince them that we are normal economics, that we're a normal economic company with normal revenue streams and normal cost structures and liquidity structures, plannings, that it's not just a football club. We have 500 million turnover. We're growing every year substantially. We are profitable as one of the few football clubs in the world. And we are not a gambling industry, what many people may think about it. But it's not. It's a football business. It's entertainment business. It's broadcasting business. We produce content to audience, and we have a very brilliant brand as Borussia Dortmund, where a lot of companies as sponsors like to be linked to do their own advertising for their product, to emotionalize their brands with Borussia Dortmund. This is what's about. Football business is capitalization of the brand value and the brand development. And it's not just a gambling or something like this. And for an investor, it's important to see that there's a growth and there's profitability, and that we produce value which is contributed at the far end to an investor. They get some dividends on the one side, which is low, because in football you are in a very competitive market. You have to invest in your sportive competitiveness. But on the other side, you produce value, and this value is reflected in our balance sheets. And this is part of that what the investor earns in his terms. It is more about the value but development of a share price over time.
So for the non-football fans who are watching, could you give some indication of where Borussia Dortmund is positioned relative to other German teams and the other European bigger football clubs?
Well, you can categorize football clubs in three different layers. The one would be the global brands, the sweet spots, and regional or local brands. And we are surely one of the sweet spots. We are not on the same value as, say, Real Madrid or Manchester City, but we are more on the level of Atletico Madrid and maybe Arsenal London for British investors. And then below this, you have those regional brands like Eintracht Frankfurt, VfB Stuttgart, which is not an international reflection.
Well, Thomas, it's probably worth talking about your attitude to financial debt at the corporate level.
Yeah, well, it's quite simple. I believe in my deep heart that football business should not be leveraged substantially, at least not the operation of the business, because it's not that predictable as normal industry is. We do not produce a product where you produce it and you have a market to sell it on. We produce entertainment, football, and football has sometimes unexpected developments. And for that reasons, for me, it's important to balance economic and sportive success. And that means for me also to not overdebt a football company. And the best would be to not have any financial liabilities on the balance sheet, if not for infrastructure, because then you are very healthy. And that's the reason we have very low financial liabilities on the balance sheet and just financial balance sheet for infrastructure investments.